Hi everyone, this is Roy, and today we're going to talk about how to edit your runs to make them smoother and sounding a lot more professional than otherwise would be. First, I'm just going to say that we're going to be using Audacity, the program. So if you guys don't know what it is, you can basically just do a Google search right over here. Audacity. It's all free. It's open source. Just go to download whatever your system is and just install it. It's really simple to use. That's why I love it. And yeah, all right, we're gonna go back to how to edit. So let's assume that you already have everything downloaded, everything set up. If you have not, you can pause the video and do it. And now we're just gonna talk about how to do the actual edit. So over here we have a sample clip. I can play it for you. This is one of my runs. For strings, you guys probably know this is 11. It's pretty difficult. Alright, as you guys heard, it was pretty slow. So I recorded that at 80 beats per minute, which is a lot slower than the actual 140. And now I'm just gonna go and edit that right into 140. So first, this is just for quality's sake, if you guys want to do this, but I like to get rid of any noise that I have in the background, because when you record, there's always some background noise. So first, we can select a portion of the clip that is empty, and then we go into Effect. And then we go all the way down and see Noise Reduction. So if we click into that, you get to see step 1 and step 2. There's like some sort of instructions here. And so what you want to do is you want to get the noise profile. So what we did over here is basically just selected out some background noise that's supposed to be silent, but it's not actually. If we get the noise profile, then it'll recognize this as the background noise. And it'll try to filter this out of everything else. So now we got the profile, we can select the entire clip, just like that, and go back to noise reduction again, and instead we click OK. So now it'll do all those smoothing, and you can clearly see over here everything got smoothened. So the second step you want to do is just cut down the clip. You want to make sure you only have the run as your audio file and not any silence. So I'm just gonna go right ahead and delete the beginning and the end. Try to make sure that you get most of the silence out, because sometimes you might get like a tiny little bit of leftover silence, and it makes it a bit more difficult to line up when you're trying to put it together with your actual recording. So that's something you want to watch out for. But now we basically have the clip all processed, but it's still at 80 beats per minute. So to make it into 140, we go into Effect, then we scroll down to Change Tempo. So if we go to Change Tempo, then you can see okay, there's a selection for beats per minute, and this is quite intuitive because as musicians, we just have the metronome markings and it's super straightforward for us. So for me, I did it at 80 beats per minute. So I'm just going to go ahead and change that to 140. And then you can press OK, and then boom, it's shortened. If you take a listen to this now, it will feel like you sound so much more pro. There you go. So that's gonna be how you're gonna edit your audio for those runs. And the trick I like to use to basically put it together with the video so that everything stays relatively fine and you don't have to fake anything is that when you record it, try to actually play out those runs. So for instance, if you have the really messy part at 93, 94, 91 or whatever, just play along. It doesn't have to be good. As long as you start at the right place and you end at the right place, the middle part doesn't matter. You can screw it all up for all accounts, but it doesn't really matter. So because you're actually playing the thing, then you can, for the video portion at least, it's not that noticeable that you're faking, but yeah. Because later on when you actually do edit it, so here let me bring up another one over here. This is the project I'm working on right now. So the top one, the top channel is the actual recording, so the one that I'm actually playing. The second one is a run that I'm edited. So this is the one that we did just before. And the bottom one is the clip track that Joel sent everybody. So what we have to do is first take a listen to your own recording and then find where you have your run. So for me, I found it to be right over here, and you can see, okay, this is like a little section over here, and you can hear it. It sounds pretty bad. This is just for a demonstration. If you want. Okay, so that sounded really terrible, but that doesn't matter because we're gonna edit it out anyways. So because you faked this part, or at least you tried playing it, it'll make it way easier for you to line it up later. So we're gonna go ahead and select this to find out how long this is, and then hopefully get the bottom one to match it up. How long is this? Okay, at the bottom part, you can see there's a start and end of the selection, or you can just say, or you can just find like a length and center of selection. If you do that, length and end of selection, you can instantly just see how long your selection is. So over here, okay, so this is 8.425 seconds. You can just go ahead, make this part also 8.25 seconds. I'll go into Effect, change Tempo, and basically change the length to 8.425. Oh, never mind. 3 sig figs. Okay. And let's try it out now. Okay, so that did not match up the way we wanted it to. Keep in mind that if it ever happens to go like this, that everything just doesn't really match up, go back to the click track, because we're trying to figure out how it works with the click track. So if you really want, if it messes up really badly, you can just instantly just get rid of this part. So how you would do that is you go to Effect, you go into Generate, and then into Silence, and then it'll automatically just give you the duration, so you don't have to worry about that. As long as you select it beforehand and just click on OK, and just get rid of everything over here. So now you won't have to listen to that terrible playing. And we can go ahead and try to match these up. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay, that does not quite match up.
11, 2, 3.
Okay, so if to troubleshoot this, you want to listen to the clip track first, because you can see everything. You can see the waveforms really easily over here. So this giant peak is Joel saying 11, so disregard that. This is the actual first beat of the measure. So you want to go ahead and line that up. And you can use that by using the time shift tool up here, over here. But make sure that you stop the playing of this entire thing first. So you want to click on stop so that you can start dragging this part along. Okay, let's try that again. Remember, this part is going to be the most time consuming because you're trying to match things up. Do be patient, and you want to make sure that you do this right, because if you mess up, then everything's going to mess up, and then the entire orchestra recording is going to mess up. You don't want that.
3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2.
Okay, now if you take a look at your music, you want to try to match up each of the rests. You can clearly see these rests over here, and then try to match them up with the ones, because yeah, it's always da 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 1, and then you play. I suck at singing. So 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it's 8 bars of playing, so you want to make sure that you stretch it out to be all the way down here. Da, 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 da. Because you end on a 1. So let's see how long this is. 9 seconds and 9.134 seconds. Can't talk today. Okay, go to effect, change tempo. Uh-oh, I selected the wrong thing. Sometimes that happens. Do be patient. Don't rage. You might rage. That's not good. 9.124. Let's just do 9.12. Let's see what happens.
3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2.
Wait a second.
2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Oh. Okay, you gotta watch out here. I made a really bad mistake here. I thought 1 was the bigger peak, but it was actually 2 that was a bigger peak. So what you have to do is
2, 3, 1, 2.
okay. So when Joel says 11, it actually mixes in with the 1. You gotta make sure you hear it really clearly, or else it's gonna mess up. Okay, let's move it back here, because that's where 1 is supposed to be. Let's try it again.
2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1.
Or I'm going too slow here. Well, basically just play around with it. Make sure you have your music in front of you also, so you can figure out how many measures it is. I don't have it in front of me right now because I don't know. That was my bad, but I think you get the idea. Then you can repeat this for every single one of your runs, and at the end, because you have your click track and everything lined up, it'll would be pretty nice. Now it sounds like you actually played those runs and played them beautifully. So that's something. Alright, I think that's it. Yeah. So just to recap, we use effect and change tempo to do everything. To do all the tempo changes, just this beats per minute. That's the one you're going to be using. And then later on, when you're doing the more finer tuning, so like fitting it in with the click track, you want to use the length by observing the selection down here that says length and end of selection. So the left side is always going to give you the length. If you take that, usually it's at the start and end of selection, and then you just have to shift it over to this selection. And if you have that, you can plug that back in to the change tempo. Oh, I keep getting errors. Okay, and then just basically just plug it in over here, and you're good to go. Yeah. If you have any questions, feel free to send me a message on Facebook, or if you want, you can also add me on Instagram. My Instagram account underscore X Royd. That's me. If you just search it up, or you can just search up Roy Huang. That's also another option. So if you guys have any more questions, you can always contact me over here. I'll make sure that I'll get back as soon as possible. Other than that, I'll just end the video here.